What's up, guys? You're looking at one of the newest graduates of the CPT course that the University of Human Performance puts on for veterans, exclusively for veterans, okay? Now, I know I've been getting flooded. I've been on kind of a 19-day hiatus because that's how long the course is. And a lot of people have been like, where have you been at? What have you been doing? Because I was posting a bunch of stories on my Instagram. I'm at this beautiful gym. I'm on this new compound. I'm around a bunch of veterans. A bunch of my buddies know I've been out for 2 years. So like everybody, Tyler, where have you been at? What is that place? Why have I seen these ads on Instagram, these ads on Facebook? Because obviously I have a lot of veteran followers. And I'm just here to drop a knowledge bomb on you guys, okay? I am in shock at the experience that I just went through, okay? And it's all positive, all good. And I just kind of wanted to make this video. I was already going to make a wrap-up video of my time there. I took a lot of videos while I was there. They're going to be popping up. I'm going to be talking over them. But I just kind of obviously wanted to make this video to wrap up my time there and just kind of give you guys a first-person POV of the experience you would have at the University of Human Performance, okay? So, UHP. What is UHP? Okay, I love how it's this beautiful campus they've designed that is the University of Human Performance, and that's kind of their focus. But it also stands for unlock human potential, like unlock your potential as a human being. And I think as a veteran, what's so beautiful about this course, and we'll get into kind of the things that impacted me on, but I've been a trainer since 2020, right? COVID happened. I got my ISSA online certification being a personal trainer. And being in the military, we're really good at structure, building programs, making people fit, showing up on time. Like personal trainer just kind of makes sense for a lot of veterans. So this is one of the courses they offer. And it's the one that stood out the most to me because basically, if you have a personal training certification or anybody knows, the high, everybody knows NASM and then there's ACE and then there's ISSA, I'd say about is number 3, but they're all online courses. You get sent a book, you have to learn knowledge, you have to regurgitate, take a test. With NASM, it's proctored. With the other two, it's just kind of online. And in this world nowadays, we know with ChatGPT and Googling and all that stuff, it's just kind of learning a lot of knowledge or knowing a lot about kinesiology or the muscle groups or posterior, anterior, transverse, sagittal plane, like all these cool buzzwords in the whole human wellness performance world that we live in now. That's all fine and dandy. You can have all the knowledge in the world. But what stood out to me about this course specifically was I knew it would make me a better trainer because I'm getting hands-on taught. Like there's no personal training certification you can go out there and learn from. Okay, you get all your knowledge from online, you memorize certifications, and then you go to a gym, you get a job, and you kind of just OJT. You're learning on the job. You're picking up clients. Your other trainers are teaching you stuff based on their knowledge. Maybe you might have a PT director that's been a personal trainer for a long time or has a degree, and you can learn from him. But you're kind of just hoping you get lucky in that avenue. Okay, it was taught to me like when I first got my certification, I was watching a bunch of YouTube videos from personal trainers, and it was like, go out and just get a trainer. And, I tried that. I was like, okay, even Michael Jordan needs a coach. Like, let me go out and I'll get a personal trainer for a month and just see how he runs it. His initial sit down with me, questions, his initial test, like fitness, test with me, if you will, to see what I can do and what I can't do, limitations and, what I'm good at. And then we come up with a plan and we move forward. And it just was kind of a very piss poor experience. Okay. And I just knew that based off that trainer experience, I knew I was like, I'm going to be a way better dedicated trainer than this. So the thing that stood out best to me is like, I'm at a campus. Okay. And I'll get to the coaches in a minute, but I'm talking the knowledge, the different disciplines and modalities these coaches know. I'm talking a coach from the NFL, a coach that used to work at the Ohio State strength and conditioning program, another powerlifting coach that worked at a strength and conditioning program for sports. And if you know anything about fitness, like these strength and conditioning coaches, they're intense. You have a kettlebell yoga kind of breath work coach that has his discipline like down pat. You just have like all of these coaches that are so knowledgeable on the subject, and they're right there for you to reach out and touch and use their information, okay? And learn from them inside a gym setting. So that's what stood out to me, and that's how it was explained to me, right? Now, I say all that to say this. That's what I thought it was going into it. Okay, I'm like, I knew I would go there. I'd be around veterans. My GI Bill would pay for it, which was something I haven't used yet. Me being a veteran that doesn't have a college degree or has ever even went to college, this was the first time I used my GI Bill. And not only did the admissions office make it very easy for me to send me all the paperwork, explain how everything works, and then help me, just like solidify my experience and paperwork side getting me there. They were awesome for that. But this was the first time I've ever used my GI Bill for knowledge, right? So the main takeaway for me was I was just going to go there. I was going to become a personal trainer. I was going to learn from coaches that have a lot more knowledge on personal training than me. And that's it. And be around soldiers in the process. Cool. Boy, was I wrong. Like, the experience that I thought I was going to have was night and day, yin and yang, black and white from the experience I did have there. Now, the only reason I say that, and it's a very positive way, is because I thought I was just going to go there, cool, I'm already physically fit, I got this, and, I'm just going to learn how to be a better trainer, and that's it. I'm going to take my certification, and I'm going to walk away with some knowledge, good to go. And that's just not the experience. That's not how they designed the program. They designed the program, okay, for veterans to realize, to unlock their potential, love themselves first, and realize that you're not alone. You do bring a lot of value to the market as a civilian, and you take the knowledge they give you, and I don't want to say therapy, but like much needed understanding of how we can transition our brain and use our attributes in a positive way to the civilian world and use it in a positive way, okay? I'll give it to you like this. This is an example. When I first got out of the military, I got out of the military 2 years ago. Actually, graduation day was my 2-year anniversary of being out of the military. I joined the military right out of high school. Military is all I've ever known. If you follow me or know anything about me, people that know me, people that, follow me in the military or my friends, they know like I went from high school, soldier, and I've only ever been a soldier. It's all I've ever known, right? So getting out of the Army was hard for me. I'm not going to say it was very hard on me mentally. I just given my life to a program, multiple tours, multiple years spent in something, and I tried to be the best at everything I did, but being a soldier was a big part of my fabric. So getting out that first year, going into that second year was really hard for me. And it wasn't that I didn't have structure or discipline. It was just very much so, dang, like you lose that sense of purpose. You lose that sense of drive. And I remember thinking when I was in the military, you'd hear about all these suicide rates and how bad they are for soldiers when they get out. And I remember thinking like, why is it that bad? Like I'm surrounded by alphas, alpha women, alpha men, go-getters. Like how are they doing so? Why is it so hard being a civilian? And you don't really know until you get out. But the reasoning behind the military is like, you wake up 5:30 in the morning, you're at PT, you're thinking as an NCO, I want to be a great NCO. I want to better myself, go to more schools. I need to take care of my soldiers. What are my soldiers doing? How are my soldiers' wives doing? How are my soldiers' families doing? Like, your brain is always busy. What's the next mission? What are we competing for? Like, physically and mentally. It's just a lot, getting ready for deployments, shooting ranges, like everything you're always planning for. The Army is just so busy, busy, busy. When you get out, I realized I'm like, oh, you have a lot of time as a veteran to be stuck up here and, like dealing with your PTSD or overthinking your problems or thinking, did I get out? Did I have the right plan? Did I do enough? Does my country love me? It's just a lot. You spend a lot more time up here. And I understood, I'm like, oh yeah, I'm in my head a lot more. I understand the whole suicide rates thing and why it's a lot sometimes, feeling like you messed up or you didn't do enough. Now, where UHP comes into that is they get all of these veterans, and it's not a pity party. Let me put all these veterans, in this group and teach them some kind of certification so they can go out to work in a gym. That's not this at all. They also have they are building an entire thing so we can get behind the veteran community. Now every time I see somebody with a UHP shirt, I get to go up and they've been through the same experience I've been through. And now we can talk, now we can be civilians together and unlock our potential together. I did more networking there than I did my whole military career. There's always something somebody is good at that you aren't. There's always something that somebody has done that you haven't. And just being in a positive environment with a bunch of soldiers who are all transitioning together. You had people that were still in the military. You had people like me who had just got out, and you had people that had been out for like 10 years. And it was beautiful to be there and hear all their different stories and hear how they're navigating the civilian life. And it just makes you stronger for it. It really does. It gives you different perspective. It gives you better light. It lets you know you're not alone. There was at one point when I had just got there, I think we were 3 days in, we did a sit down, all of us veterans together, and just hearing the different stories of like where people live and what they're going through, it makes you think like, dang, like I'm not alone. Like the things I'm nervous about or the things I have a hard time doing, they do too. You know what I'm saying? And you're looking at people with like master's degrees, people with multiple jobs, people that fall on their faith, people that have families with wives and kids. Like it's so many different people together again. It's just like in the military. And it was beautiful. It was a beautiful sight and program to be a part of, if you will. Now, I could sit here all day. This YouTube video could be an hour and talking all about my experience at UHP. I didn't want to do that. I wanted you guys to just get a feel of what I went through and kind of a quick just detail, because I've been getting so many questions about it, of like what it is and how it kind of lines up. Now, they offer more than the certified personal trainer course, okay? The one I'm going to in October is called the Integrative Health Coach, okay? And you kind of learn a more holistic mind, body, soul approach to not only using your physical certification, but learning how to like really understand how people's brains work and help them deal with trauma and help them like, be more positive, and just you're getting that integrated health aspect to you to make you more holistic, right? Because people, when they need a coach or a trainer, they don't just need you to get them right physically. I can do that tomorrow. A lot of people, actually fit people, could just, tell other people how to be fit. It's not that hard. But being a coach and a mentor to someone is a whole different thing. And that's generally what you learn at this course. And it just helps you tap into what your skills are as a coach and a leader and a mentor and make the other ones better and exemplify the whole embodiment of what a coach is, right? A coach and a mentor. So they like in the future, they want to do like an HVAC course. Like they want to basically, this whole campus is going to be just military people living on it, getting better together, learning trades, networking, and being positive environments. Like we have a group chat of like 80 and we're all still dropping knowledge. Like, hey guys, if you've ever done this, it's the family, and the family aspect of it is beautiful. So let me dive in real quick. I'm just going to go pretty quickly through this. I'm going to pop up some videos here so you guys can kind of see what the campus looks like. So basically you get there day one, you guys see I'm wearing the badge. They know you by name. You're getting the gear, right? They hand you a bag. You get the uniform that you're going to be wearing. I got the shorts on right now, UHP, UHP, UHP. As soldiers, we're used to this. Like, let's get this uniform on. Let's get all this cool UHP gears. Like me and some of the buddies in the cabin were talking about it. And let's get this knowledge. Hey, you go into the dome, 17,000 square foot gym, as you can see right here, 40 racks, every physical fitness thing you can think of. They got Kaiser machines in there. They have the top of the line. They got the Bevel, Woodline, assault treadmills. They got everything. They got the top of the line equipment. And don't even get me started on the recovery. This is the recovery room. As you can see, they got the cold plunges. They have the red light therapy. They have multiple saunas. They had the compression leg sleeves, the hip part. They had the compression arm attachments. They had all of the Theraguns you could think of. I never even seen a vibrating roller, but they got rollers there that vibrate. Like they had the top of the line recovery aspect. At the end of this 19 days, between the food, the recovery room, and the gym, I felt like I was in the best shape of my life. Now, while you're there in the 19 days, you are in a bunk with about 10 to 12, guys. And it's just typical military style. It's beautiful. Like, you're meeting roommates from all over the world, and you're all just there to, knock out one common goal. And it was beautiful. You eat 3 meals a day at this beautiful culinary, they call it the Pure Life Culinary Center, right? The PLCC. And when you meet at the PLC, I'm talking, they have a Michelin star chef that just takes care of you. He's got the best menu, great food. You eat 3 meals a day. I was never hungry. I felt like I was eating the most beautiful food that I had eaten in a month. Like, talk about hitting your macros every day, all day, right? And then they really do focus on the recovery recharge aspect. So you get this Whoop right when you get there. Now, what is a Whoop, you would ask? I asked too. It is a digital tracker. You get an app with it. They give you 1 year free. Like, this is a really expensive thing that basically just tracks your whole readiness, my sleep, what kind of sleep am I getting when I sleep, my strain, like how strained is my body versus my sleep, how much am I recovering from day to day, like your score. The more you wear this after the 19 days, like I had all this data to pull from, because you learn there. And like, as you guys know, you can have all the data in the world, but it's like, what do you do with it? You know what I'm saying? Now that I'm here, I almost said stateside. Now that I'm back in my home, right? I understand, after 19 days of living on this camp, eating 3 good meals a day, focusing on sleep, not only working out in the gym, but focusing on my mental, right? Trying to be positive and learn how to unlock my human potential. And then the last aspect, all of the recovery stuff, so I'm not sore or pulling anything. I feel like a professional athlete right now. I feel the best I've ever felt. Right now. Okay, I could go on a freaking marathon run tomorrow, right? I'm ready to rock. My High Rocks is in a month. I want it to be tomorrow. So you really realize that when you focus on sleep, which I'm going to start to focus on more, and when I focus on my nutrition, just how much better the body performs and how amazing I feel right now. So they really do. I love the thought process of going there and like staying there. It would be one thing if, you know, you were taking these courses and you were driving off to your hotel every night and drinking or getting fast food and then coming back on camp. And yeah, you'd still get the physical aspect, but them just completely taking that out of the equation and just keeping us centrally focused and all living together on this camp towards one common goal is amazing. They say a quote there a lot, you know, if you want to go somewhere fast, go alone. You want to go somewhere far, go together. And it just works. It really does work. One last thing I kind of want to hit on is the coaches. Okay. I'm talking, the coaches were so good that I want to apply to be a assistant there just so I can go learn from them. Okay. I talked about the knowledge they all have great resumes, and that's fine. Anybody can have a great resume. But the difference, you probably know watching this video, you know when someone is teaching you something and they have a passion for it and they actually care about it and they care that you understand it. Okay, this is one of the reasons. I mean, a lot of the people that, you know, went to college there, I was asking them, I'm like, were your professors like this? And I'm like, no, the professors are just up front. You can tell the professors that care, and then you can tell the ones that are just like, blah, 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 test on Friday. The passion that, like, Matt Hesse, the co-founder, or not the co-founder, sorry, Matt Hesse, the founder and operator of UHP, what a team he picked. Like, he picked guys and gals who not only are so educated in their aspect of what they bring to the team, but motivated and positive to be there. They love the fact that they work for veterans and they work for us, and they love the product they're getting. Because I mean, honestly, that's awesome. They understand that we come in there, we have a lot down pat here, you know, like we're tough, motivated, strong-headed, ready, you know, strong-willed, ready to go. But at the same time, we do need a little love, and we do need a little bit of like, hey, we see you. And these are the coaches he picked. There's a Coach Blair there. It's like I want to turn into him. You know what I'm saying? He's just got everything together. He knew everybody's name in a class of 80. He knew everybody. He knew their wives' names. He knew what they were doing next. Like, such a big influence on me, and one of the best men I've ever met in my entire life. And I want to go apply to a job just so I can be around him and some of the other coaches, Coach Andrew, Coach Candace, Coach Cody, Coach Kenny. I had a PR deadlift of 425 because of a 5-minute instruction that Coach Kenny took me off to the side and gave me. Like, these coaches are that good. So not only are you going to improve mentally, you're going to improve physically, you're going to improve your networking skills, you're going to improve you're going to unlock stuff about you that you didn't even know. I went there with the sole goal focus of like, I'm going to do this. And yeah, I got a little bit of that, but completely unlocked who I am as a person, and realizing that I need to pour into my cup, fill my cup up first, and then do for others. In the end, every soldier has in common, we join to serve others. You know, personally training, being a coach, I want to serve others. You know, a lot of military go be a firefighter, go be a cop. Like, serving other people and being there for other people is ingrained in us. So why not figure out the best way to do that and serve, you know, the community, make a gym better, make a person's life better, you know, and fitness is a big part of that. Like, I understand a lot of people, oh, personal trainer, it is what it is. And I'm not trying to act like personal trainers, like, oh, I change people's lives. But if you really think about it, you do. You are a big part of this person's life. You're a part of their schedule. You're there for their ups. You're there for their downs, and you're there for their body transformations. And we all want to grow old and live, you know, a healthy life. You know what I'm saying? We all want to be 100. So how do you get there? Well, the first key is fitness. And then the second key is unlocking the mental aspect of it and knowing you got a coach that has your back and is going to see it through to the end. So shout out to UHP. What a course. I'm so excited to be back in October. I'm so excited to live in the barracks again, meet the new fresh batch of soldiers getting after it that I will meet, unlock my, you know, mental holistic side even more, make myself a better coach and trainer in the future. And then, you know, gosh, we'll see what the future holds. Hopefully, you know, I end up getting a job there and I work there and I get more, you know, cycles of soldiers I get to meet and more people I get to impact and more coaches I get to be under and learn from. And that would just be everything. I could not be happier with the fact that I took the jump off a couple ads, and then one of my buddies had the UHP shirt on, so I asked him what it was, and I could not be more happy with myself that I made the, you know, they said the day one, like when everyone was sitting down, they finally said like, you know, the hardest part was getting here. Now you're just going to get through it. And they're right. Like, that was the hardest part. I packed up my car, got the packing list, drove up there, didn't know what I was getting myself into. And by graduation day, I was a new man. I was a new unlocked version of myself that is going to just go chase greatness now and be better for it. And now I have coaches I have coaches' phone numbers that are going to check up on me and make sure I'm getting after it. I'm doing everything I said I was going to do when I was there. And then I have to be disciplined enough myself moving forward to be the man that I promised myself I would leave there being. And I'm excited for that. So if you have any questions about UHP, please don't hesitate to DM me. I'll let you know all about it. I'll answer any questions. And yeah, go unlock your human potential. I promise you, veterans, I doubt everybody on graduation day was in a great mood. Like nobody graduated that course and looked at me and was like, well, that was a waste of time. Not one person. So let me know. I'll be here.
That gotta be good.